Hi guys, it's time for another episode in my Makeup Diaries series. If you have somehow missed the last 8 episodes that I've done, basically what I do in this series is I gather up the last 7 looks that I've done, kind of put them into one video, show you everything that I use in every single look, and just give you kind of a rundown on the products that I'm using, as well as just giving you inspiration like back to back of looks that maybe you can do, color combinations that maybe you haven't thought of. It's nice for people like myself who I don't need to see how every look is done in order to be inspired and feel like I can recreate something. So just seeing looks for me is very helpful, and I hope that it can be helpful for you as well. So usually what I do in these is I'm gonna start by going through all of the base makeup that I'm using for today's look, and for the most part I use the same products most days, but if not I will update. But today I'm gonna start off with the foundation that I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing 2 today because I have a long day and I realized that the Pat McGrath foundation is not the most long lasting for me, so I mixed it with a pump of the Urban Decay Stay Naked just to kind of see if this will help the longevity a little bit, because I really like the finish of this foundation, but I find that this wears a little bit better, so I feel like maybe if I just combine them, we'll see how it goes. I mean, worth a shot, right? And if you're new, I do have oily skin, just something to keep in mind. If you don't have oily skin, I feel like the Pat McGrath foundation is going to wear beautifully on you, but for me, I would say I get like 8 hours out of it before it starts to look a little bit too oily for my liking. My concealer today is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. I love this. I feel like it's very skin-like. It's not too thick, but it's also not too thin that it doesn't have coverage. The color is perfect for me. I have mine in the shade Buff N, and it's just the perfect color, and I've had this now for probably 6 or 7 months and it's still going pretty strong. I'm kind of getting to the bottom of it, but I feel like for basically having worn it every single day, at least that I've done my makeup, which is most days, there's a lot of product in this. I'm definitely going to repurchase it. My powder today is just the Wet n Wild translucent powder. I love this powder. It just does the job. It's cheap. That's all I need from a powder. My bronzer today is from Kaleidos. I'm still kind of testing out their new contour palettes, and so far I've been really liking them. I'm using this bronzer from the medium palette today, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. One thing that I bought pretty recently that I just cannot seem to put down is the Pat McGrath Holiday palette. This is the cheek palette, and today I'm using this one as my blush. The only one I haven't tried on its own, I think, as a blush now is this one, and I've kind of mixed and matched them, and I love this palette. I think it is so beautiful. This is the shade Divine Rose. I think it's just called Divine Rose, and I want to say that this shade is... It is so hard to figure out like what these shades are. I think it's Desert Orchid 2. So if you're interested, maybe these are sold individually, but this is a beautiful palette. I'm not using the highlighter in this though, because I did want to use this one. I felt like I hadn't used this one in quite some time, and this is the Half Magic highlighter in the shade Light Trap. I really like this for days where I just want to have like a pretty basic highlighter that isn't super in your face, but is still there, but it just looks really nice and shiny and smooth, and I really like this. Honestly, it reminds me a lot of the highlighter in the Pat McGrath palette as well. So if you like Pat McGrath's formula, I think that you would really like this. I think this is a beautiful highlighter. My brow products really hasn't changed much, even though I am using the CoverGirl brow pen. I really need to buy a new one of the West Barnes & Co. because it is my favorite, but right now I just haven't made an order, and I'm kind of just like, I'll just go through the brow pens that I had before I make another purchase because I have them and I might as well use them. So this is the CoverGirl one in the shade Soft Brown. I really do like this. I don't really have any complaints, but I feel like the color isn't as good as the shade Roots from West Barnes & Co. So I am using one of their brow pens, which is my absolute favorite, to kind of do like hair-like strokes. If you've been looking for a pen like this, I know I keep raving about this, but this is so good. It doesn't dry out. It makes really, really nice fine lines. It's just a perfect brow pen in my opinion. The only downside is that they don't have a ton of shades, so you may or may not be able to find your shade, but if they do have a shade that looks like it works for you, I think you're gonna love this. I will have all of the products that I'm mentioning linked down below in my description box, at least as many as I can find, the ones that are available and so on. Like, it's gonna be a very long description box, so just be aware if you click down there that there's going to be a lot of products. Now let's get into eyes. So I am wearing a new palette today, and this is a first impression, and I'm actually wearing the Nimia palette. So this is Nikki Tutorials brand, and I was so curious because I really respect Nikki as a makeup artist, and I know that she's tried a lot of products. I don't think that she would ever come out with anything bad, and I honestly really like this color story. Like, I get that it's kind of neutral, but I feel like The color story is done very well, so I feel like there's enough variety that I'm gonna be into this. And since I have been kind of more into neutrals lately, I'm very happy about having picked this up, and I'm excited to play more with it. I gotta say, I'm so impressed so far by the formula, especially this orange. Like, I put that all over my lids before I topped it with the shimmer, and holy crap, it is so neon. Like, it is neon. It is exactly what it looks like in the pan on the eyes. Like, it is intense. Which I wouldn't expect anything less from Nikki because she does like her pigmented shadows, but damn, I was not expecting that. And I have this one all over my lid just kind of as my shimmer, and then I smoked this one underneath my eye because I didn't want to have orange under my eye because I feel like that's a bit just, I don't know, it doesn't make me look sick, but I just don't like the look of having like neon shadows underneath my eye. That is just me. So I wanted to ground it a little bit, and then I had this one in my inner corner. And I really like this look. I think it turned out really, really fun and super easy as well. My lashes today are the Divine Lights from House of Lashes. These are quickly becoming my all-time favorite lashes, and I have yet to have a bad lash day with these. That says a lot because I think with every other pair of lashes that I've ever tried, I've always had like 1 or 2 bad lash days before they've died. So I feel like I'm gonna stock up on these next time they have a sale, or even when they don't have a sale, because I would be very sad if I did not have these in my collection at any given point because they're so beautiful. And even though I probably have a lash drawer full of who knows how many pairs of lashes, at least 20, probably like 30 or 40. Doesn't mean I like all of them, and not all of them I bought myself, and so I just want to make sure that I always have a pair on hand that I know I can rely on, that I know I love, that I know is going to look good with every single look. And I think these are just like the perfect lashes for me because the length of them is just, it's just perfect, and they're so easy to put on as well. And the lash glue that I use is the Duo Blue Lash Tube. This has been my favorite now for quite some time. Also, I should probably mention that my eyeshadow primer is the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base, which I'm sure you all know by now if you've watched any of my videos, and I always use the NYX glitter primer with my shimmers. Let's move on to, I guess I should probably mention my DHC Cosmetics liquid eyeliner. This is my favorite eyeliner of all time. I feel like my eyeliner got a little bit out of hand today because I smudged it a little bit like right onto my lid here, and so I had to make it thicker, and I didn't intend for it to become this thick, but here we are. But this is still the best eyeliner of all time if you ask me. And then just to finish off, I'm wearing a lip combo of my I need a nude lip crayon, my perfect lip liner, whatever this thing is called from Natasha Denona. It is literally the color of my lips, and so I love it when I'm going to wear a gloss. And I did get a package from Laura Mercier with like a 2 set of their glosses for the holidays. They have a lot of holiday sets out. I will of course link these down below if you want to go check them out, but I'm wearing this one, which is kind of just a sheer sparkling gloss in the shade Starlight, and I think it's a beautiful gloss. I do feel like it's a little bit tingly, just like a tiny little bit, and I don't really love tingly glosses, but I wouldn't say it's maybe a little bit sticky, but not in a bad way. Sticky in the way that is long lasting, and I like that in my glosses. So I think this looks really, really nice. I'm very happy about this look. So that's gonna be it for the first look of this video. Let's just move into the second one. So here's today's look. I don't remember what I said in my previous look that I was going to use today, but I did end up using the Lethal palette. This is the Evergreen palette, and I think that this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I definitely had some thoughts in the video where I used this palette, and I said that I felt like these 2 shades are too similar to warrant being in this palette, and these 2 on the eyes looked very similar as well. And I also think that the matte formulas are a little bit, I'm just not like the biggest Lethal fan when it comes to their mattes. I think they're totally fine. I don't think they're bad. They're just not my favorites. I find them to be a little too, it's so hard to explain. It's not that they're sheer, but they're not as rich and opaque as I like in my mattes. And I find that sometimes they don't build the best, and they can tend to kind of blend away a little bit. So I don't know, those are just kind of my thoughts. I think this look turned out beautiful though, and the shimmers are stunning. The lashes that I'm using today are from Auric. I did make an order during their Black Friday sale, which wasn't really a great deal. I think they were giving 20% off if I remember correctly, but I'm using the half lashes in the style Clouded. So this is how they come if you haven't seen them. It comes in a compact with a half lash, and then you have a full lash in the same kind of style underneath. So I really like these. I think they're beautiful lashes. They were so easy to put on. I mean, I already knew I was going to like them because I've had them before, but they're just like a very easy lash to wear on days where I just don't want to be too fussed about my lashes. I just want to know that they're gonna look good, and that's it. My blush today is from Lethal. I figured I would use one because I haven't used these in quite some time, and I'm using this one up here. Again, Lethal doesn't have my favorite blush formula. I don't dislike it, but I just don't tend to reach for these as much as my other blushes. This is in the shade Bloom. I find them to be a little bit too dry and a little bit too pigmented and just a little hard to blend out. But this color in particular, because it's quite light, it wasn't a problem at all. My lip combo today is pretty much the same as in the last look. I'm using the Natasha Denona lip liner, and I'm using another one of the Laura Mercier lip glosses, the other one that came in the set. This is in the shade Sugar Plum, and I love this. This is beautiful. This is so much prettier than I thought it was gonna be. And I honestly I love this lip liner. This color is so perfect for me. It is exactly the same shade as my lip, but just a little bit better. Like a 0.1 shade darker than my lip color, and it's just perfect. So I can really just line my lips and then put a gloss over the top without really having to fill in my lips in order for it to look like it's sort of an opaque layer. Like on my lips, I don't like the look of a visible lip liner with just a gloss. Like I just don't think that I suit that look. So I prefer when my full lips just look like the same color. But that is just me. So I feel like this lip liner allows me to wear glosses in that way, and I really like that because this gloss isn't super opaque, but it still has some color to it, and the color is very similar to the lip liner and to my lips. So I really like this. This might actually be my perfect lip gloss color. So I'm very happy that I will set this because I certainly would not have bought this myself. I don't really buy a lot of glosses because glosses isn't something that I wear a ton, and I feel like if I have a couple, like that's enough. But I'm honestly really happy that I have this in my collection. I think everything else that I used today, I've used before on my face. I'm using the Pat McGrath foundation just on its own today because I don't plan on going anywhere. My concealer powder are the same. I'm using this shade in my waterline from Odens Eye. It's the number 6 eyeliner. I really like this one. My earrings are from Ana Luisa. My highlighter, which is probably buried under all of my stuff in front of me, is of course Noctilucent palette from Blend Bunny, and I wanted to use this because I was trying out the new brush set from Lethal as well, and there was a highlighting brush in here which is sort of a fan brush, and I wanted to see how this formula would work with this brush, and this brush is amazing. Like I like this so much more than I thought I would. It's just a really nice size. And I find a lot of the time with fan brushes, like I have this one from Refer, and it's just a little flimsy and a little big, and I feel like I get highlighter all over my face when I use this, and it's just not my favorite. But this one is so tiny and so small that I feel like I get a really nice application with it, and I really enjoy this. So far with the brushes, I think that the quality is really nice. It's just kind of the shapes of the brushes that aren't my absolute favorites because I'm so incredibly picky with brushes that this is just always going to happen when I get a brush set into my collection. I'm probably going to end up keeping like 2 or 3, maybe 4 of these that I know I'm going to reach for on a regular basis. I try to keep my brush collection kind of curated to the things that I always like to use, and so I don't have a bunch of like brushes in front of me that I never reach for because that's kind of pointless. So brushes is one of those things that are really easy to give away that I tend to do. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's look. I really like it. I think it turned out beautifully. Like these colors together look so nice. So I'm very happy about the look, even though it was maybe a bit of a, not a struggle, but it's not the easiest look that I've ever done. I'm actually wearing a lot of the same makeup today as I did yesterday, and so my foundation is the same, my bronzer is the same. For my blush, I decided to pull out this one. I haven't used this one in a while. This is the Anna Sui blush in the shade 301. I used to love this, and I was like, let me try it again. I put it on, I was like, I feel like something is missing. And so when I was kind of done with my look, because I put on this blush before I did my eyeshadow, I felt like it just wasn't as pigmented and as nice as I remember, and it's also quite old, and I really wanted to give it another go before I'm gonna fill my declutter. So I feel like this is probably gonna go, even though it used to be one of my favorite blushes, but I did go over it with this one from the Pat McGrath palette because I wasn't happy with how it was looking, and I felt like I needed a little bit more. I'm also wearing the highlighter in this because I really enjoy this palette. It's just really, really nice. My lip combo is actually the exact same. I'm using the Natasha Denona lip liner with the Laura Mercier gloss, and I really like it. I had a good time with it yesterday, and I was like, you know, let me wear it again. I'm also wearing the Nimia palette again, and honestly, so far, I'm having such a good experience with this. Like, this is such a joy to work with. It's just effortless. Like, it's such a nice formula. The mattes are super nice and pigmented and creamy and easy to blend, easy to build. I don't really have any complaints about that. That blue up here, which is like a blue purple duochrome, when I swatched it the first time, it almost had a little bit of like a satiny feel to it, but honestly on the eyes it's looking really, really nice. It's not the most intense and shiny shimmer, but this is kind of what I expected out of the Pat McGrath palette. I wanted something that, like, I understood that it wouldn't be super intense and out there, but I felt like it was still going to be special, and I feel like this is special. Whereas I feel like with the Pat McGrath shades, they're just kind of bland, just kind of flat, like in the holiday palette, and I really enjoy this. I think it's super nice, and I'm using this one as well on the front portion of my lid, and I love a good iridescent shade, you guys know that, so perfect addition to this palette. I also have a little bit of the shade underneath my eye. So beautiful. I really didn't think that I would be so over the moon with this palette, but so far I'm really enjoying it. The mattes that I use today are these two, also Perfume Like a Dream. So I'm excited to do another look in my final review with this, even though I feel like this is a palette that I'm probably going to keep reaching for because it's beautiful. Like, it's a really, really nice, well-performing, neutral palette with some pops of color, some beautiful shimmers, some beautiful mattes. It's just really, really nice. I'm also wearing the same lashes again. These are the Orc half lashes in the style Clouded because they were right in front of me and they were just easy to put on. My jewelry is from Ana Luisa as per usual, and I want to show you my nails too because I did get a package from Kiss with some of their holiday press-on nails, and I think that these are just so cute. Like, I feel like these are subtle enough for like in the beginning of December to where people don't think you're like the crazy Christmas person, but they're still like Christmassy without being like super out there. So I felt like this was a good way to kind of start December, and I have so many Christmas nails I'm so excited to wear, so I will keep you posted when I switch them out on what I'm wearing, but these are just beautiful and I really enjoyed this look. So that's gonna be it for look number, is this look number 3? I think this is look number 3. So we're back to the Nikki Tutorials palette, and this is my third look with this, and I really like this look. I think it turned out really pretty. The shimmer on my lid is so stunning. Like, I just can't even stop looking at it. It's the shade up here, which looks very unassuming in the pan, but honestly on the eyes it's looking so reflective and so sparkly and so metallic. And I really, really, really like this palette so far. I've just had a really good time with it, and I don't really have any complaints other than I feel like the blue was a little bit hard to work with, but then again, it's a dark blue matte, so those are just hard to make, and I feel like it did what I wanted it to do. It just took a little bit of time to sort of build it up, but I really like it. I think it turned out so good. My lashes today are the Allura Light from House of Lashes. I was able to, I feel like, get a better application today than I did the first time I wore these. I kind of just had to wiggle them around a little bit. My foundation today is a Pat McGrath foundation. Same concealer, same powder, same bronzer. I'm still using the Kaleidos one. Really been liking that one. My blush today is also from Kaleidos. I wanted to use the sort of peachy one. I feel like I can probably put on a little bit more by now because I always feel like when I'm done with my eye makeup, it's almost like my blush just disappeared. I don't know why that happens, but it also could just be that because my eyes are so strong, you can't really see my blush as well anymore, but I'm just going to put on a little bit more. My highlighter today is, no one's surprised, so I'm still using the Enlightened shade. Yep, that's what it's called in the Noctilucent palette. In my waterline, I have a blue eyeliner from Colourpop. This is the shade called Prance. You would think after having this for 3.5 years, I'd remember the name of this, but I still need to look just to make sure that I'm not saying the wrong thing. My lipstick today is actually, this one is becoming a favorite very, very quickly. It's actually the one from Pat McGrath, like the kind of glittery one. I've just been really enjoying this, and I have 2 more on the way because they were $12 on their website. So I was like, well, let me just buy 2 more. So mine is in the shade Flesh Fatale, which I probably said already in this video, but I don't remember what I've said in previous clips because it's been days. So I think that is actually it. Like, that was very, very quick today, but I don't feel like I'm really using that many products. My earrings are from Ana Luisa, and my lip liner, I guess I'll mention that as well, but it's just my Urban Decay one in the shade 1993. So that was a very, very quick look, but I really enjoyed this. I'm happy to be wearing this the rest of the day because I think it's a very pretty look. And yeah, let's go ahead and go into the next one. And here is my next look. I just filmed this with the 4th best palette of the year, which ended up being the Glaminatrix Nearly Neutral palette. There's something about this palette that it just gets me. I love this palette so much. I think it's so beautiful. So I only used 3 shades and I did my signature. I'm kind of in a hurry. I want to do something simple and easy, but still do a big wing because I can't not do anything. So I used this shade, and this shade, and that was it. And I really like this look. I think it turned out very nicely. Using my favorite lashes, which are the Divine Lights from House of Lashes. I think my application today is okay, especially considering that I did all of this in like 20 minutes, so I didn't have a ton of time today. My highlighter is the Sugar Drizzle palette. I'm using this shade right here. My blush today is from the Pat McGrath palette, which is the holiday one, and I struggle to open this every single time. I'm using the pink shade because I just think it's beautiful. My lip combo today is a ColourPop lip liner, cannot speak, I'm sorry, in the shade Little One, and then on top I have my perfect lipstick, or I think it's my dream lipstick from Natasha Denona. I keep saying that wrong, but it's definitely my dream lipstick. And I'm also wearing my Valentino foundation because I am going to leave the house today, and I have bought a backup because Sephora was having another sale. I feel like the VIB sales just aren't even a thing anymore. Like, they keep having sales all the time, so they're just not that special. And I think that's basically all that's kind of like new. I also did put a couple of rhinestones here, and my jewelry is from Anna Louisa. I will have everything linked down below like I always do. So I'm gonna go because I'm in a hurry, but you will see the next look right now. I ended up just filming my 3rd best palette of the year today as well, and I hope this video isn't going up before I reveal this. That could be a problem if that is the case, but I guess you guys get to see it first then. So the 3rd best palette of 2022 for me, if you haven't seen it already, is the Christmas palette, Merry Christmas palette from Odens Eye. I just think this palette is so beautiful. I mean, look at this color story and look at this eye look. Look at these shimmers. Oh, they look so good. I had so much fun with this, and I know that any look that I end up doing with this palette, I'm gonna love. So today I used this shade in my inner corner, I used this shade and this shade in my crease, and then I used this shade and this shade on my lid, as well as underneath my eye, and I think it turned out so good. Still using the Divine Lights from House of Lashes, and I made another order yesterday for 6 more because I have no chill and I love them. I'm also wearing the Noctilucent palette, and I'm just using the shade Enlightened because I just thought it would look really good with this look. So I have it on my face, my brow bone, my nose. My lips today is a combination of a ColourPop lip liner in the shade Little One, which this one was just in front of me, and I think I used it yesterday too, with the Charlotte Tilbury Kissing lipstick in the shade Nude Romance. These were like the perfect fit, and I really like this lipstick. I feel like I could so easily declutter at least half of my lipstick collection because honestly, like, I have my favorite, and I probably have around 15 lipsticks that I kind of rotate between on a day-to-day basis, like lipsticks that I actually wear out of the house, and I feel like the rest could just go. Like, I wouldn't do that because I like to have options for, like, if I want to do a certain look, I like to have options, but if it was just for me, I could so easily declutter so many of my lipsticks because I know what I like, and I know that's just what I'm going to reach for. But anyway, my blush today, I thought I would use one from Odens Eye since I was using an Odens Eye palette, and it just kind of made sense. So this is the orange one in the shade Peach Gleam. I love this. I think it's so pretty. Still using the Kaleidos bronzer because I love that one as well. And I don't think I have that many other things on my face that I haven't mentioned still. I am using the Pat McGrath foundation today though. I just thought I would throw that out there. Let's see. I'm like trying to look at my face and see if I forgot anything. But I think that's pretty much it that I haven't mentioned. Oh, I should mention, I always forget to mention my waterline. But this is the green one from Odens Eye. It's the shade 006. My earrings are from Anna Louisa, which I'm sure you probably know by now. And I think that's pretty much going to be it. My sweater, I don't even know if you can see it, is from Express. I got it years ago. And it's like starting to fall apart. There's like thread coming out of it everywhere, but I don't even care because I think it's cute. So that's going to be the look for today. I need to not film with the 2nd best palette of 2022 tomorrow. And maybe I think I might have time to just kind of do a look with something else tomorrow, so maybe that's what I'll do, but you will see that right now. And this is the next look that I ended up doing, and I don't think that I've shown this palette in any videos yet. I do plan on doing a multiple look video with this, but it is one of the new Plouise palettes. This one is called Unlock Your Creativity, and it is a two-sided palette, which of course it is from Plouise, and the locker thing here is so annoying. It comes with this little heart lock that you actually have to unlock to be able to open the palette, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. But this is the front part of the palette, which is not obviously the one that I've used today, but I've used this one, which is absolutely stunning. I mean, the palettes are just so pretty. You can't deny that. I mean, I think they're beautiful. It's just such a pain in the ass to use these. And it's like, I would like the Plouise palette so much more if I didn't have to spend like 5 minutes trying to open it. And it's just so over the top and so unnecessary. And like there's even a light, you probably can't even see that, but this like lights up, which is just so extra. But the shadows performed so well, like so beautifully. I only used 3 of the blue mattes, and then I topped it with the blue shade from the Noctilucent palette because I wanted a shimmer on the lid. I just prefer that, and I feel like it just wears well on me. I just find that, I don't know, there's something about all mattes on my lid that just, they never lay right, and I feel like they just never wear that well on me either. And I do have kind of runny eyes at times, and I feel like wearing a matte look is just asking for trouble. Like if my eyes start watering and I'm wearing an all matte look, it's gonna look terrible. So I didn't want to risk that, so I just put the shimmer all over, and I think it looks so beautiful. I was really feeling like a very cool toned, just blue look today, so that is what I did. I also did a pink blush. This is Cherish from Pat McGrath. It is like my favorite just pink, like straight up pink blush, and I think it just suits me really nicely. I also did some freckles today. I used a freckle pen from Lime Crime in the shade Amber. This is my favorite. Still using the Kaleidos contour kit. My lashes today are the half lashes from Auric in the style Clouded, which obviously I have on my eyes so you can't see them in here. I also use some white in my waterline. This one is from NYX. It's just the white one. It was just the first white one that I grabbed, but I really do like it. And I'm also using the highlighter on my face. I'm using the blue one. So I think that's pretty much it. My lip combo is the same as yesterday, so I don't need to mention that. And I was also kind of in a hurry this morning, so I didn't want to do anything super fancy, which is why I like sticking to the shape on days where I just don't want to really worry about blending too much, because it always just turns out great. So I'm gonna have to head out, but I wanted to show you the look first. My pony is the Alley pony from I&H. I just love this. I think it is so pretty. My necklace, I think, is from H&M. Got this a while ago, probably like last year. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's look. So this is going to be the last look of this video, and I actually played with the Plouise palette again, and I gotta admit, I'm having a really good time with this palette, and I knew I would, and it makes me angry because you guys know how I feel about the packaging. I do this every time. I still buy the palettes. I know I'm gonna complain about the packaging. I know I'm gonna like the formula, so here we are again. Story repeated itself, doesn't it? But I used this side of the palette today, and I used this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, this shade, and this shade, and also this shade. So I used most of like the top half of the palette. Did you even see what I was pointing at? Because this thing just will not stay down. Me trying to hold this palette is almost impossible, but so far I'm having a blast with this. I think the formulas are so good. Now I will say, I don't know, here's the thing, like I feel like with my eyelids, matte shadows tend to not really stick to my lid very well, and I don't know if it's my primer, if it's because I have very dry eyelids like on my lid. Like in general, I have pretty oily skin and oily eyes, but matte looks just don't tend to really work out for me. Like I have a really hard time like being able to get a good blend on my lid with mattes, which is why I never really do it. So I mean, with these looks, I did try to layer the mattes on my lid just so I could layer the shimmers over the top, because I wanted to see how they would look on the lid, but matte looks just aren't for me. So I'm not going to blame the shadows for that, because I feel like the shadows performed beautifully, and like I said, I had a great time working with it. They do take a little bit of building up, but man, do they build. Like they build so beautifully. And I'm only wearing one shimmer on my lid today, and I used the Pat McGrath palette because I really wanted to see how I could incorporate this along with other things, and I'm using nothing but this shade, and I just basically put it all over, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. I really, really, really like this shade, not gonna lie. I like this shade a lot too, but I'm not mad that I bought this palette. Let me just put it that way. And I do feel like I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, even though it's maybe not the most, given that I have a lot of indie shadows, is maybe not the most unique in my collection, but I do think the formulas are really, really nice, and I do enjoy the color story of it. I enjoy the luxury experience of using this palette, and I think that's what it comes down to, is like, if it's worth it for you to have something that's really nice, I think you're gonna like it. If you're only in it for the eyeshadows themselves and not for the experience and not for the packaging, then I don't think you need this. But I'm happy I have it, and I'm having a good time playing with it as well. I'm also wearing a little bit of a shimmer underneath my eye, and I'm just using this shade from the Noctilucent palette from Blend Bunny. I also have that on my face as well as my brow bone. My lipstick today, I can't get enough of this lipstick, and I wore another one, a new one that I bought, because I said I was gonna buy more of these. I bought 2 more because they were still $12 on her website, and this is one of the Pat McGrath. These are called the Blitz Trans lipsticks, and I know some of you said that this was a bomb. It's most certainly not a bomb. Like, this is a very, very opaque kind of glittery lipstick, and it is, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, I love this formula. These are so beautiful. They wear so well. They wear off so well, which for me is so important. Like, it almost just leaves like little glitter specks on the lips while still just wearing off so gracefully, and it just looks really good, like even after eating and drinking, and it reapplies so well. It doesn't get kind of crusty and gather in certain areas, and I can really, like, I can't do this with other lipsticks. Can I just make that very clear? Like, I cannot just eat a meal and then go in and reapply right on top of like whatever I've, you know, if I've eaten something. I have to like completely remove my lipstick in order to get a smooth application and smooth like reapplication, and I feel like with this I don't need to do that. I can literally just go in and it's gonna look great. So I love this formula. I know it's not for everybody, and I do think that the packaging is a little cheap. Like, I don't like the limited edition packaging. I really prefer the ones that have the lips on the front that are just like round and don't have this kind of gritty texture to it. I feel like this cheapens it a little bit, but the formula itself, it's so beautiful. My blush today is also from the Pat McGrath holiday palette, and I'm using a mixture of these two today. I could probably go a little bit heavier on my blush. I feel like I do this. I'm just gonna go in with this shade right here, just kind of lightly, but I feel like I always do this after I'm done with my makeup. Like, I'll go in and reapply my blush a little bit because I just feel like it needs to be amped up after I'm done with my eyes, just because my eyes are usually always so intense that my blush needs to catch up a little bit. Whereas if I had not done any eyeshadow at all, like, my blush beforehand would have looked crazy, but I feel like I can get away with it now that I have pretty strong eyes as well. And I really like this look. I think it turned out very nicely. My lashes today are the Allura Lights from House of Lashes. I don't know where, right here. Yeah, the Allura Lights. I really like these. So I think that's pretty much it. My sweater today is from Anthropologie. I want to say I got it like 5 years ago, probably not available. Earrings are from Ana Luisa. And that's gonna probably sum up this makeup diary. Let me know which look was your favorite. I don't think I can choose. I really like the blue look that I did last. I think that turned out really good, but I'm so biased towards like my winged eye looks. I really enjoy those, and I think they just look really nice on me, but I really enjoy this look as well. It's not often I do something kind of warm tone and yellow and orange, but I think it looks good on me. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see some more of these, I will put my playlist up on the screen. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.